Hello and welcome to another mathematics class brought to you by the O3 Schools JAMB app. O3 Schools JAMB app. This is the best CBT practice app modeled just like the way you see on your exam that day. It has all the past questions from JAMB. It has likely questions that will come out for the year you are writing. So you do not play with this app. Although the app has two modes, the free mode and the paid mode. The free mode allows you to answer 5 questions, while the paid mode allows you to activate the app for you to get access to all the questions and all the features on the app for just 2,500 naira. This is a little token that you are paying for you to say thank you for creating such an amazing app. Also, the app features UTME challenge every Saturday. Every Saturday is a mock exam for all JAMBites to test or to show or to test how prepared they are for the examination. So you must afford yourself of the opportunity, download the app, and of course, start practicing today. So how do you activate? Once you go to Play Store, you have downloaded the app. How do you activate the app? Click on activate on the app. Go to buy activation key at the top. You'll see 3 options for payment, either using Google Pay, either using paying online with your card, or the third option is what? Transferring to the O3 Schools bank account. In case you have trust issues, in case you are scared, is this one not scam? Don't want to scam you. So because of you, I'm going to drop our customer care number here 09121515246. So once you have transferred money to the account, screenshot the receipt. Or if you went to a POS, snap the receipt and just send to this WhatsApp number. Immediately you send it to this WhatsApp number, you will get your activation key. There's no need to be afraid at all. This app is an important prerequisite if you want to prepare for your examination. All right, now let's head over to why we are here today, which is what? Simple and compound interest. And when it comes to simple and compound interest, there are some things that we must put to mind. For simple interest, we have what? Principal, we have rate, and we have what? Time, right? Then for compound interest, we also have what? The interest, of course, we also have the principal. But one thing that's important concept here is what? Is the amount, which is what? The principal plus what? Plus the interest. Right? Of course, for simple interest, amount is also principal plus interest. For compound interest, amount is also principal plus what? Plus interest. Right? You must note that part. Another important formula you must also note is the formula for amount, which is what? Principal into what now? 1 plus arrow over 100 all raised by what? N, where N is equal to the number of years. Right? And then the third option, another third thing I'm going to talk about is what? Is repayment. Repayment is the amount that what? That the borrower is able to pay. So according to his ability. But we usually calculate repayment after we have calculated what? Calculated what? Simple and compound interest. We have known the amount, then we now deduct it. We deduct the repayment from what? From the amount to know what? The exact amount that will be left to be paid. So we calculate repayment after we have calculated amount in simple interest and what? And compound interest. So for simple interest, of course, if a certain amount of money is to be paid, which is the interest, of course, right? There will be interest, right? A certain amount of money is to be paid, which is the interest on a per annum on a borrowed or deposited money, which is called the principal. So long as the transaction owed, right, that is called what? Simple interest. So I'm going to be paying you, you're going to give me this marker I'm to be using, right? Let's say the marker is 100 naira exactly. Then I'll be giving you 2 naira every month, every month. So until I finish paying for this marker, right, maybe I'm going to pay what? An interest. I'm going to pay an interest on it. Right? You tell me, of course, all of us do this transaction now. This marker is 100 naira, but I'm going to pay 150 naira, 50 naira interest on it. So let's say the person is giving you 3 naira or 2 naira every month. So you see that what? He will keep paying you that amount. The principal is fixed. The principal is what? The principal is fixed in this case, which is what now? Which is what? 150 naira. Until you finish paying this 150 naira, you are not going to what? Stop collecting money from the person. So the principal is fixed in what? In simple interest. The principal is what? Is fixed. But know that what? This 150 naira that I mentioned here, right, is both the principal and the what? And the amount. But the real principal itself is what? Is 100 naira, right? Which is the amount for the marker. But you want him to pay 150 naira, right? That's plus 15 naira interest. You get. So this 150 naira is no longer the principal, but what? But the amount is the amount, that is the principal plus what? Plus the interest. So that's why I said both for simple interest, amount is principal plus interest, right? So the important thing we need to know for simple interest is that the principal is fixed. It is fixed, right? So we have the rate and we have the time. Now, compound interest. For compound interest, if the principal of the first year now forms what? The principal. So if the interest for the first year rather now forms the principal for the second year. Look at it. The interest for the first year forms the what? Principal for the second year. If it is part of it at all for any reason, then that interest is no longer what? That calculation is no longer simple interest, but compound interest. Because what? In that case, the principal will be increasing. Let's say for the first year, let's say the principal is 15 naira. Now for the second year, the interest, let's say the interest for the first year is what? Is 2 naira. If the interest for the first year interest, if it is 2 naira, right? Then the principal for the what? For the second year is what? Is let's say the principal for the first year is what? Is 15 naira. Now for the second year, if you want to calculate it, want to calculate the interest, if for any reason you are adding the interest and the principal to now form the principal for the second year, then it is no longer what? Simple interest, but compound interest we are calculating. So in that case, amount is principal plus interest, and the amount can be calculated P into bracket 1 plus R over 100 all raised to power what? N, where N is the number of years. Then repayment. Repayment is what? Is the ability that what? As I said, repayment is the amount that what? That the borrower can what? Can pay. So according to his what? To his ability. So I say, okay, I'm owing you 2,000 naira, but I can pay you 1,000 naira. How much is now left? To be amount to now be 2,000 naira, the amount minus what? Minus the repayment. So I'm not going to have what? 1,000 naira left. So how do you calculate the payment? We usually calculate the payment after we have calculated what? Simple interest and compound interest. We deduct what? The amount, right? From the what? We deduct what? The repayment from the amount, so that we now know how much is left. So we calculate what? Repayment after we have what? Calculated the amount from simple interest and compound interest. So having known this foundational little things, we're now going to head over to the O3 School JAMB app and start answering questions. So the first question here is from 2018, number 17. Is this number 7 or number 17? All right. So the question goes that okay deposited 800 naira in the bank at a rate. We're giving rate. Rate is what? 12.5%. Simple interest. After some time, the total amount was 1.5 times the principal. Now, after some time, the total amount was what? 1/2 times the principal. So that is of principal. Now they said, for how many years was the money left in the bank? So we're giving the principal, sorry. Principal is what? Principal is 800 naira. Now they said, for how many years was the money left in the bank? So from here, what do we know? We know the rate, we know the principal, we know the amount. We're told that what? Amount is what? 1/2 of what? Of the principal. 1.5. So the 1/2 of the principal. So we can calculate the amount. If you calculate the amount here, the amount will be what now? Convert this one to improper fraction. 2 times 1, 2 plus 1, 3. 3/2 of what? Of 800. So if you do that, 2 year 1, 2 year, of course, this will turn to multiplication. This will be 400, which is what? 1,200. So we know our amount. Amount is what? 1,200. Principal is what? It's 800 naira. But do we know the interest? We don't know the interest. We can calculate the interest. Since we know that what? That the amount is what is principal plus interest, then we can find interest. We know amount to be 1,200 naira. Then it's equal to what is principal? 800 naira plus I. So that what I is 1,200 minus 800, which is 400 naira. It's naira. So let's say 400 naira. So we know the interest. We're told to what? To calculate how many years the money was left in the bank. So because we already know the interest, we know the rate, right? We are looking for the time. Then we can now use our formula for simple interest to find the number of years. We know that our simple interest is what? Principal times the rate times the time over what? Over 100, right? So if you do that, our simple interest is already what? 400 is equal to what is our principal? 800 times what is the rate? 12 and a half. So convert this 12 and a half to improper fraction. 2 times 12 is 24. 24 plus 1 is 25. So I have 25 over 2. So times what? 25 times what? Time. We don't know time. Over what? 100. That over 2 here will come down. Simple calculation. So 0 cancel 0, 0 cancel 0. 2 year 1, 2 year 4. Of course, at the top here, I'm going to have. So let's bring everything this way. So that 400 is equal to what is left here? 4. 4 times what is left here? 25. 25 times time all over. Is there anything underneath it? Nothing. So our time now becomes to what now? Divide both sides by 4 times 25. So that we'll put our 400 over 4 times 25. We'll do this 4 year 1, 4 year 100. Our time is equal to what now? 100 divided by 25 is what? Is 4 years. So what option is 4 years? That's option B on our app. It's very simple here because here we're giving the rate, we're giving the amount. Amount they say is 1 over 2 of the principal. So we calculated the amount to be what? 1,200. We know the principal to be 800. The amount is principal plus interest. We look for the interest. We imputed the interest of 400 naira. Then what? We use the simple interest formula to find the exact number of years that the money was left in the bank. So that's a very simple question from simple interest. Now let's go to another question. This is a 1990 question. 1990 number 4. So the question is appearing right on the side of this screen right now. Right, to say at what rate will a sum of 100 naira deposited for 5 years raise an interest of 750 naira? So what are we giving? We're giving the principal. Principal is 100 naira. We're giving what? Time to be what? 5 years. We're giving what? Raise an interest. Is this 7 naira 50 kobo or okay? We're giving an interest of what? Of 7 naira. Okay, 7 naira 50 kobo interest. Sorry, not 750 naira. So we're giving an interest of 7 naira 50 kobo. So they say what? At what rate will this sum 100 naira deposited for 5 years raise an interest of 7 naira 50 kobo? So we already know our simple interest formula. Simple interest is what? Principal times rate times what? Time over what? Over 100. Are we giving interest? Yes. So 7.50 is equals to what's our principal? 100. What is the rate? We're looking for what? Rate, right? Then times what? What is the time? Times 5 over 100. If we multiply 100, we go here 1, 2, shift it 2 times. So I want to have 750 is equals to 100 times 100 times 5 is what? Is 500 what? R. Right? 100 times 5 is 500 times R is 500 R. So divide both sides by 500. Divide both sides by 500. Divide here by 500. This will cancel out. This will go. So 5 can go here 10. 5 can go here 15. Right? 5 can go here 2. 5 can go here 3. So I'm going to have what? That rate is equal to what? 3 over 2%, which is equal to what? 1.5%. So of course that's a very very simple question. 1.5% or 1.5% because our answer actually is in fraction here. So which is equal to what now? 1 over 2%. or 1.5. All right, so it's as simple as that. Now, that is option what? Option A, 1.5. All right, let's go to another question. This is a 1991 question, number 6. The 1991 question, number 6. 1991, number 6. So they said Musa borrowed 10 naira at 2% per month, simple interest. Right? Musa borrows, the first part borrows what? 10 naira. Principal is what? Is 10 naira. The rate is 2% per month, simple interest, and repays. He repays 8 naira after 4 months. They say, how much does he still owe? So because he's doing a repayment, definitely he will still be owing. There will still be a certain amount of money left. But remember, I told you that you can only calculate what repayment after you have calculated what the amount from simple and compound interest. So we're not giving interest here. We're not giving interest. So we can calculate simple interest first. Then after which you calculate the amount. After I calculated the amount, we now subtract it from the what? From the repayment to find what the person still has left to pay. So now our simple interest SI is equal to our principal. Our principal 10 times what is rate 2 times is there time 4 right over 100. So our interest is equal to what now? 20 times 4 is 80 over 100, which is what? 8 over 10. Let's say our simple interest is 8 over 10. Now we know our simple interest, right? 8 over 10 is the same thing as what? 0.8 from the calculator. All right, then we know our simple interest. Then what do we need to calculate repayment? We need the amount. We know that amount is equal to what? Principal plus what? Plus interest. What is the principal? Is 10 naira. Then plus what is the interest? 0.8. So that our total amount of what? 10 naira 80 kobo to be our amount. Now he repaid 8 naira, right? So repayment is what? Is 8 naira. Amount left now. Amount left to be paid will now be equal to what? Now this amount 10.80 minus what? 8 naira. So it's in naira, it's in naira. If you do that subtraction, press your calculator, you're going to have your answer to be what? 2 naira 80 kobo. And that is very simple. Option A. Option A. You get your answer very clean. All right, let's go to another quick question. This is a 1993 question. So to calculate the payment, as you have seen here, we must first of all calculate the amount. From after calculating simple interest, you calculate the amount and then subtract the amount is paying to find what is left. All right, this is a 1993 question, number 8. They said, let's see this, 1993 question 8. They said if 225 naira yields 27 naira in X years, if 225 naira yields 27 naira in X years. So we're giving principal here what? 225 naira. We're giving what? Principal that we're giving what? Interest of what? 27 naira, right? Then we're giving rate. We're giving rate as 4%. They said if 225 yields 27 naira in X years, at what rate of 4%? Okay, at a rate of 4% per annum, find X. X years is what? Time is X years. So we're looking for what? Time, isn't it? So we know our formula. Principal is equal to simple interest. Simple interest formula. SI is what? Principal times rate times time over 100. We know our simple interest to be 27. Our principal to be 225 times what's our rate? Our rate is 4. We don't know our time over 100. So let's multiply. So 2,700 is equal to 225 times 4 times t. So that our t will be equal to 2,700 divided by what now? 225 times 4. Press your calculator. Don't form that you know it. So if you do that, our answer is going to be what now? 3 years. All right. So having done that, what is left for us to do isn't much. So let's look at another question from the O3 Schools JAMB app. This I'm not very particular about this here because I don't think I put it down when I was writing this question down. But I'll look for it. You'll see the question at the side of your screen. All right, they said a man wishes to keep some money in savings deposit at 25% compound interest. Compound interest is 25%. He wishes to keep some money in savings deposit at 25% compound interest so that after 3 years, so we're looking at what now? Time will be 3 years. 3 years. After 3 years, you can buy a car for what? For 115,000. 150,000. So giving amount is what? 150,000 naira. How much does he need to deposit now? Now, some of you may be asking, why did that make 150,000 naira the amount? It's the amount because he wants to buy a car that is worth 150,000 naira, right? He has not bought the car. That's why that 150,000 naira cannot be principal. It has to be what? It has to be amount because the interest has to be what? Compounded to what? To accumulate to what? To 150,000 naira. He has not gotten there yet. So simple compound interest of 25% for a time of what? Of 3 years. So now, what do we do in this case? So since we are giving the amount, then we can find the what? We can find the principal as we are not giving, right? We are not giving principal. We can find the principal. Once we find the principal, then we can use it to what? To know how much you need to what? To deposit now. It's the principal we are looking for. So, all right. So now let's go. We remember our amount formula. The amount is equal to principal into bracket 1 plus what? Rate over 100 all raised by what? N. Right? Remember where M is what? The number of years. All right, let's go. So the amount now 150,000 is equals to what now? What is the principal? Which we don't know. 1 plus what is the rate? 25%. 25 over 100. All this by what now? N number of years 3. Let's go. So that we're going to have let's do this. 150,000 is equal to P into bracket. Now this is what? Let's just quickly do this. 25 here 1, 25 here is 4, right? So I'm going to have 1 plus what? 1 over 4 or Q. All right, let's go. So now I'm going to have that was 150,000. You just need to take care of this side. P into 1 over 1. LCM is 4. 4 divided by 1, 4. 4 times 1, 4. Plus 4 divided by 4, 1. 1 times 1, 1. All this to power 3. So dealing with the right hand side first. We're simplifying the right hand side into 4 plus 1 is 5 over 4. All this to power 3. Right? Now, what is 5 raised to power 3? Let's come to this other side so that we can have more space to understand what you are doing. So here now 5 raised to power 3 is what? 5 times 5, 25. 25 times 5 is 125. So I have 150,000 is equals to P times 125 all over. What is 4 raised to power 3? 64. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is what? Is 64. Then of course we can have 150,000 is equal to 125p over 64. If we cross multiply, we're going to have 150,000 times 64 over 125 is equal to p. So if you do your calculation very well, our p there will be very, very, very easy. And it is going to be what? 78,600 naira. So the man needs to deposit 78,600 naira now to be able to what? To be able to purchase that car for 150,000 naira. So if you want to check if you are correct, it's very easy. You can use this principle for the first year using simple interest formula that simple interest I is what? P times what? R over 100 for the first year. For the first year, use this formula to find the simple interest, right? Use it to find the interest rather, not the simple interest. Use to find the interest. So I is PR over 100. Then the interest you get here, you add it to the principal for the next year, so that it's now form what? The interest you get here, sorry, you add it to what? To this principal. So once you add it to this principal, it now forms the principal for the second year. So you also solve for that year too, right? The principal for that year, you add the interest you get again, add it to the principal again to form the principal for the third year, and you see that one you will amount to 150,000 naira eventually. So this is what you need to understand. So the question there, let me go back to it again. The question there said the man wishes to keep money in savings deposits at 25% compound interest, which is this, for 3 years. So that after 3 years, he can buy a car for 150,000 naira. So it will amount to 150,000 naira after accumulating it. So if you started with this principal, the interest for the first year, add this, get the second year, add it, get the third year, right? It will accumulate to this amount. So it's very, very easy to understand. All right, let's go to the last question. The last question is a 2022 question. A 2022 question. A 2022 question. 2022 question number 26. So they said calculate the compound interest on 4,500 naira for 2 years at 10% per annum. So compound interest on what? On 4,000, sorry, to calculate the compound interest, we're giving the principal to be what? 4,500 naira. They were given the time, 2 years. They were given the what? The rate to be what? 10%. So what do we know here? It's for 2 years, right? Now we need to first of all know the interest for the first year. So that the interest for the first year is what? Principal times what? Rate times time. Time is for the first year. Now let me make you understand it clearly how to calculate compound interest so that you don't say, why did you do like this? It may explain. For the first year, for the first year, interest is what? Principal times what? Rate times time. But time is what? Is 1. This is the first year. First year. So the first year here is 1. That's why we don't usually use time again. So the principal, when we come to compound interest calculation, we usually just omit the T because we know that we're calculating what per year. So PRO over what? About 100. So if you do this, I'm going to have 4,500 times what is the rate? 10% over what? 100. Do this 100 cancel 100. So our answer is what now? This will cancel this 450 naira. Sorry, 450 naira. So now this interest we have gotten now, we will add it to the principal. If you add it to the principal, it will now form the what? The principal for the second year. So principal for the second year will be equal to what now? 450 naira plus what? 4,500 naira. All in naira. If you add that, you're going to have 4,950 naira as the principal. So we now calculate interest again. Interest will be equal to what now? Principal times what rate over what? Over 100. So if we do this, what's our principal? 4,950 times what? What's our rate again? Our rate is 10 over what? Over 100. 10, we cancel, we have 10. So our interest here is what? 495 naira. So to now find the principal at the end of the second year, it will now be equal to what now? Or the amount rather. The amount at the end of the second year. This is the second year. Our time has elapsed. So now, to now find the amount, now because of now amount because of what? The principal plus the interest. The interest is what? 495. Principal is what? 4,950 naira plus 495 naira. If you add this, press your calculator, add it very well, you're going to have 5,445 naira. So after getting this amount, right, for the second year, our question is asking, calculate the compound interest. Remember that compound interest, we know that amount is what? Is principal plus the interest. So for compound interest, interest will be equal to what now? Amount minus what? Minus principal. What is the amount? Amount is 5,445 naira minus what is the principal? Principal is what? 4,500 naira. All in naira. All in naira. So now 5,445 naira minus 4,500 naira will give you 945 naira. as our final answer, which is option C. Very easy to calculate. All right, so let's go over the question again so that we explain it properly. So we're giving this principal 4,500 naira for this time for this rate. So for the first year, we calculated the interest PR over 100 to get this. Because it is compounded, we need to add this interest to the principal of the first year of this first year. So if we add this word principal together, it now forms the principal for the second year. So this is now what we got 4,950 after adding, after getting this interest. So then we now calculate the interest again using this. We got this. So because it ended in the what in the second year. This is the second year. It has ended here. So we need to now calculate the amount. The amount will now be the principal plus the interest. So if you do this 4,950 plus 495 naira, give you 5,445 naira. All right. So amount is principal plus interest. So that means interest what amount minus principal. So amount is what 5,445 naira. What is the initial principal I started with? 4,500 naira. And this gives you a compounded interest. A compounded interest because this interest is not just from 1 year, it's from 2 years, right? So a compounded interest of 945 naira. There are some assignments for you. Assignment from the app. Please go to your old 3 schools JAMB app and do this assignment. This is a question 2001 number 6. These are likely questions. 2005 number 5. This is A, B, C, C. 2008 number 5. D. 2011 number 4. Then E. 2018 number 8. All right. So please do well to what to solve all the questions. So if you have any issue, run it through me on WhatsApp 09121515246. I'll be able to explain to you better. All right. So these are the questions we are expected to practice. All right. So with this, it brings us to an end of this class. Please do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Just see that red subscribe button below this video. Click on it. Then click on the bell notification so that once we release any video, you'll be among the first people to see it. Thanks for watching. I'd like to see you in the next class. Bye for now.